Outside, come around. When you filed a lawsuit, you were highly critical of the NAACP, National Urban League, Reverend Al Sharpton.
Yeah, let's speak on that. So they talk about that. So they say he filed, he sued, these folks. Well, what I was suing I was saying that the Urban League and these folks, they did an MOU, a memorandum of understanding as to what black people will live by, right? But what they didn't tell black people is that David Cohen of Comcast sits on their board of the Urban League. What they didn't tell black people is that Comcast gives the Urban League $1 million. So what you should tell black people,
$1 million total,
a year, $1 million a year.
Okay.
What you should tell black people is that there is a conflict of interest. I'm getting money from Comcast, and that is controlling my behavior. Or it may not be, but it may be controlling my behavior. You need to tell black people, I did a deal on your behalf with somebody who pays me. And the reason I sued them is because President Obama fought hard to achieve net neutrality. Who spoke out against net neutrality, Roland? Let them know. Was it a company? Was it the Urban League? Did they speak out against net neutrality? Yes or no? The answer is yes. Tell the people that. Yes. But net neutrality, you need that. Because if you don't have net neutrality, you don't have video coming out of Ferguson. But why did David Cohen of Comcast want them to speak out against net neutrality? Because it challenged his business. It challenged cable. He doesn't want you watching video over the internet. He wants you watching video through his cable networks. And so here is the Urban League speaking out against net neutrality. That's like saying black people don't need food, water, and oxygen. So I sued to say, don't go out here and negotiate on behalf of black people without black people giving you that permission, and without you telling black people that you're getting $1 million from David Cohen on your board from Comcast, and you're doing things like speaking out against net neutrality. I'm not going to allow that to happen. So I sued to put them in check to protect black people. That was the reason I did it. So they didn't like it, but guess what? They know I'm watching, and I've also told them, every time you step out, I'm going to sue you. Here's the difference. I have a staff of lawyers who work only for me, litigators. So it's easy for me to sue people. I can bankrupt these guys. I mean, I don't want to hurt them. They're not my target. I can sue them every week. But I want to make it clear, you're going to have to do the right thing, because what you're doing, you're hurting black people. That's what you're doing by taking these donations. And this is what I said to Tom Rutledge. Tom Rutledge, who runs Charter. I said to Tom Rutledge, and I talked about this on the Breakfast Club, and I talked about this at my website, The Griot. I said, Tom, he said, well, you sued me, but I said, Tom, I sued you when I saw you with Al Sharpton in a photo in the newspaper, and you said, I've got an MOU with black people. I've negotiated it with Al Sharpton and the Urban League. And I said, Tom, who is the white man that speaks for all white people? And if that white man doesn't exist, why do you think there is a black man who speaks for me and all black people? Why do you think there's some head black native that speaks for all the black natives? That is a racist idea. And that MOU is a racist, fraudulent document.
So you believe that civil rights organizations should not be entering into these type of MOUs?
Not if they're getting money from the person they're negotiating with. You have to disclose that. So they gotta say to you, Roland, I'm about to enter into a deal with Comcast. And oh, by the way, Roland, David Cohen sits on my board, and I get $1 million a year from him.
So you're saying that half that MOU being signed,
and no money going back and forth to those
with no money going back and forth, you believe that would have been far more representative of the interests of African Americans,
yes,
as opposed to money going to those specific organizations?
That's right. I probably would have been cool with it. I probably would have said, you didn't get any money from them? I'm cool with it. But if you get money from them, well, I'm not cool with it. Because you didn't disclose it.
Or do you believe that essentially that money is payoff?
Yes.
I
sued them because I believe that money is a way to control your behavior. Why are you speaking out against net neutrality? I mean, look, let me tell you who Comcast is, okay? Let me tell you who they are. So once again, Mr. Bryant is totally out to lunch, has no clue as to what he's speaking about. He doesn't even know who they are. Let me tell you who they are. These are the same people who got caught very smart engineers in Northern California for deploying BitTorrent, a software to slow video down over the internet. And when they got caught, the FCC said, this is in violation of all kinds of federal laws. Personally, I think people should have gone to jail for that. Okay? And Comcast said to the FCC hit him with a $20 million fine. And Comcast said to the FCC, F you. You don't police the internet, and I'm not paying the fine. And I think even sued the FCC not to pay it. That's who they are. Okay? That's just one example of who they are. When they went to go get that merger done, to the approval to buy NBC Universal, you go to the FCC. There's the chairman and 5 commissioners. One of the commissioners, Meredith Atwell Baker, voted for the merger. And then 3 months later took a job with Comcast. Okay? That's what you're dealing with. Billionaire Michael Bloomberg had to sue Comcast. Why did he have to sue Comcast? As part of the condition for the merger to buy NBC Universal, okay? They said, hey, Comcast, you own CNBC, a business channel. You need to take Michael Bloomberg's business channel and put it next to CNBC. They ignored that consent decree, and Michael Bloomberg had to sue because they took CNBC, put it on channel 50, and then they took Michael Bloomberg's channel, put it on channel 950. He had to go sue them to go get his channel put on, near their channel. This is who they are. These are, like I said, David Cohen has compensation about $20 million a year. He has $125 million a year as a budget. $125 million a year as a budget. They're only number 3 after tobacco and defense to pay off civil rights organizations and politicians to keep to do what they want. What are you doing? That you're a cable operator. You have to spend that kind of money lobbying. You're a cable operator. So at the end of the day, why go after this civil rights statute and eviscerate it? And no, he's incorrect. If they go and they make this a but for, then they have a right to discriminate against him, and he will never get a lawyer to defend himself.
What do you say? And I've had folks who reach out to me.
Yeah.
What do you say to people who say, Byron don't give a damn about black folks? All of a sudden, now he's pro-black? What do you respond to those critics?
They're
there.
And be there. And you should be there. But you should also be there with everybody, including your so-called civil rights organization. Take me out of it. You can say whatever you want to say about me. And I can't control what you say about me. This is not about me. This is bigger than me. This is, what are you going to do to protect your civil rights? What are you going to do to protect your civil rights?
So when your critics say, this is Byron trying to enrich himself.
No, but I want to speak to that. Go ahead. But I want to give the answer that I think is the healthy answer. Don't get into Byron's this, not black enough, black here, when black there, blah, blah, blah. That's all nuttiness, okay? This is not about that. This is about what are you going to do about your civil rights. Now let's look at my company, right? And my resources. And look at what I've done. I could have used my resources to do a lot of things. But what did I do? First thing I put on is a Monday through Friday show. I put on 6 judges, 6 of them, daily for an hour. Judge Ross, Judge Karen, Judge Hatchett, Judge Maybelline, Judge Christina Perez. 5 hours a day, black and brown people, as judges, running things. That's an amazing image, right? What's a better image than sitting there on the court and running things? 5 hours a day. I invest millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to produce and promote those images of African Americans. Things. 5 hours a day. I invest millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to produce, distribute, and promote those images of African Americans. NBC Universal, they've got talk shows where black men are dancing around going, hey, I'm not the baby daddy. Hey, it's not my DNA came back, I'm not the baby daddy. Now, this is what I've said to white executives. I said to a guy, he said, why does it need to be black owned and not black targeted? I said, because, listen, I said, you have your daughter and mine, right? I said, are you okay if I control her image, how she's produced and depicted and seen around the world? Can I control her self-esteem? He said, no. I said, why can't you control mine? My daughters. to have a seat at the table. So when you look at nobody on planet Earth, 7 billion people on this planet, has put forth stronger, positive black images than me, 5 hours a day of judges. That's not by accident. That's by design. Because I don't want to just see black men dancing that they're not the baby daddy. But I don't need to answer that and defend that, because it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And it doesn't matter. What matters, it doesn't matter what you think of Byron Allen. The only thing that matters, if you want to have an intelligent conversation, what are you going to do to protect your civil rights? I didn't bring this to the Supreme Court. They did. And they brought it in partnership with Donald Trump. The same Donald Trump who had to sign the largest racial discrimination and housing lawsuit settlement with the United States government, who brought the lawsuit against him. That's who Comcast partnered with, and then walked into a courtroom and said, take some of our time and plead against this civil rights statute, and let's bring black people back to 1865. See, he is ill-advised, and he's not on point, because, listen, they get us in the schoolroom, and they get us in the boardroom, and they get us in the courtroom long before he gets choked to death in the street.
So I ask you, so you talk about those hours of programming moving forward.
Yeah.
As you've gone through this, any plans for the Black News Network, Entertainment Network, any plans to expand?
Griot.
You own the Griot.
I own the Griot.
Any plans to expand that?
We're going to invest heavily in the Griot. We're going to invest heavily in that and build that up.
You own it for how long?
I've owned the Griot now, I don't even know, a couple of years. I bought it maybe 3-4 years ago. I don't remember. That's what I've been spending more of my time, buying companies. And I've been buying companies. As you know, I bought the Weather Channel last year, and, we got them back on Verizon. We won our first Emmy. We've had our highest ratings since 2012. That's been phenomenal. That asset has been a phenomenal acquisition for us. We bought a movie distribution company. We've been buying television stations. We have 15 television stations in 11 markets. We're planning, at this point, we will be the largest owner of Big Four network affiliates in the world. We'll probably have achieved that goal within 36 months. Big Four network affiliates, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. We're in real estate. We're going to go into banking. We're not going to just be held to media, so we will be, media, real estate, banking, because at the end of the day, this is an opportunity to really achieve that fourth and final chapter that Coretta told us, that this is the reason Martin was killed. Martin Luther King was killed because he was pushing for economic inclusion. And, it's so ironic when he sits there and says, this is commercial. It's like, one of the things that's going on here, and this was one of the issues that I had with President Obama, and I said to President Obama, I've given you money, and my money has strings attached. You spent $700 billion to bail out the banks. I want you to audit the banks and see if they're lending money to African-American entrepreneurs like Mr. Bryant. And he wouldn't do that. And I said, the other issue I have with you, Mr. President, because I knew that African Americans were not getting bank loans for business loans and right. Home loans. I said, the United States government has a pension fund that's over $1 trillion, right. Over a T. And not one African American manages one penny of that money. And the reason why I sued to make sure that we open this pathway is so guys like him don't struggle and they get access to capital, and they can actually not talk about having scale, but actually have scale.
What happens if you...
I have scale. I know how to get scale.
What happens?
And I know that there are a lot of wonderful African-American entrepreneurs out there that are going to get flushed down the toilet because they're positioned to fail, and they're never going to achieve scale. They'll dream about it. They will talk about it. But the way the game is rigged and the way the game is positioned, they're positioned to fail. I have achieved scale. And I'm sitting here saying, hey, black community, this is how you do it. The door is closed, and I'm going to tell you how you bob and weave around that. Because, by the way, if I wanted to, I could say nothing. You know what I mean?
President Donald Trump.
president.